woke up in the middle of the night, you hear strange noises coming from down of your house. What is going to be your tactic? Is this the moment you'll be waiting your whole life and you get your full gear and going to hunt them? Are you going to be stealth ninja style and going to kill them very silently? Or are you going to grab a knife and do it the old school way? All of this you will find out in this video. If you have been following us for more than 1 week, you'll probably know that the answer to this problem is going to be somewhere completely else. But first, let's break down the mistakes that people usually do when they are in this situation. So your first thought could be something like, I'm going to get my full gear, I'm getting my tactical vest, I'm getting my helmet, I'm getting all of the guns I can, all the Glocks, I'm getting even M4s, why not? I'm going to grab the biggest guns I have, I'm taking a knife and I'm putting it somewhere in my boot. The same goes with pistol, you cannot forget about it. Put it in your boot, of course. Grab your samurai sword, grab some brass knuckles to put it on your hands. And of course, if you can, shave your head and put some paintings on your face so you can be very ready. The biggest problem is you woke up in the middle of the night and now you basically realize that you've been getting ready for 4 hours and you haven't solved anything.
Finally! I get to use my guns, protect my house, legally shoot a man. I can't wait!
And now, imagine the disappointment. You've been getting ready for 4 hours, you get downstairs, you're ready, you're prepared, and the thief or robber already left and he took all of the weapons that you had downstairs. So you decided to hunt the robber down, but for making it a little bit quicker, you decided to take only 2 closest weapons that you can get. But you decided to not scare the attacker, you let the lights off. So now you are walking, trying to tactically solve anything. All of a sudden, you step on something like a Lego and your leg starts hurting. Or maybe even worse, because there's only dark, you trip over something. Maybe even worse, you fell over the couch because you think you know everything that is in your house, but during some tactical cleaning of the house and during a robbery it's going to be a lot harder and you can trip, fall over anything because you let the lights off. And because you decided to solve the situation in the dark, every single sound, every single movement will result to you just shooting. So you now just shot through all of your kitchen because you heard something, only to find out that it's a raccoon or a small cat. Or even worse, if you decide to just throw a grenade there and you are solving raccoons by throwing grenades in your own house. Great idea. And guys, remember, grenades are only for fishing. One story to rule them all. Peter's friend from Special Forces once had a situation when he was sleeping and all of a sudden he heard something downstairs. He heard sounds, so he decided to go and grab a knife because it's his favorite weapon. So he slowly went downstairs. He was waiting in the complete darkness. All of a sudden, when he was waiting behind the corner, he saw a hand reaching to turn on the lights. And for the very last moment, he decided not to stab the arm. He waited a little bit, only to find out that it was all the time just his mother-in-law who didn't want to wake him up and just wanted to return his keys. So the message for you is, if you are trying to hunt down the person who's inside your house, please turn the lights on. Not to say that trying to hunt down the people that enter your house is not the best idea overall. If you are thinking about, I'm just going to go downstairs and meet them face to face, you don't know how well they are prepared, what weapons they carry with them. So it's not a good idea to just head downstairs and try to hunt them. You can see it from our videos when we were talking about active shooter, that why it's not the best idea, so definitely check that video out. We have a whole series about this. You should be considering about grabbing your weapon, your gun, whatever you have, and waiting upstairs, waiting for them to come into your shot. Or trying to scream something like, I already know about you, I already contacted the police, they are coming. So you can scare them off easily, and even they, when will be in a rush, they will steal less things than if they would be just calmly stealing everything. Maybe you will be thinking like, but they already robbed my place 2 times, 3 times, so now I'm definitely going to get my revenge, so I brought a shotgun and I'm going to pay back everything that they stole from me. Think about it a little bit differently. Like, do you really want to go downstairs and face the robbers in a potential shootout when you have kids at home? Like, it's probably not the best idea, it's mostly retarded. What you should be doing is, when they rob you more times, invest in some passive defense. That's what you should be doing, or completely moving out of the place. That's the solution, not getting bigger gun to hunt them. So the correct solution. So right away when you wake up, you should be starting thinking about, I need to get my gun. I need to get the closest weapon that I can get. You get up, you go for your weapon that is hidden, you know where it is, and very quickly you can reach for it and start getting prepared for potential robbers or attackers being inside your house. You reach for the gun first because you are always thinking about your safety, and you are sleeping while being locked. That's why you first go for a weapon. If you would be unlocked, you first need to lock the door and then go for your gun. So now your next step should be unlocking the door, being careful about the corners, watching if someone is in the hallway. And the next thing you should definitely be doing is closing, if you can, and locking the entire floor so no one can get inside now. Another thing you should be doing is checking on the kids. Are they fine? Is everything alright? After you check it, you can make your next decision. Now tell your wife to be with the kids, lock the door and be protecting the door. If something happens, she should be ready. Meanwhile, you are in a position of I'm going to be going against the second door and I will be fighting for it. So meanwhile, your wife is with the kids. Now is your position too. If you are not sure what's happening downstairs, to go there, unlock the door if you have one, and slowly take a look if something's happening. Then you can consider what is the situation. If you hear the attackers are maybe coming towards you, that will be probably good to, again, close the door, lock it, get into some very good position, waiting for them to get into your shot. Meanwhile, I'm always giving instructions to my wife what is actually happening so she will not be surprised. And meanwhile, I am looking out for the door. She should already be calling the police and calling for help. If you do not have a door there, you shouldn't be just going downstairs. You should be standing in your advantage position because now you are facing from upwards all the way down there. It's going to be a lot easier for you to shoot the attackers or the robbers that are coming your way. So for the recap, first things to do is grab your gun if you are sleeping behind locked doors. If not, you should first lock, then go for your weapon. Second of all, you should definitely get out of the room that you are in, and if you can, lock the floor that you are staying in. Meanwhile, check on the kids. If everything's fine, get your wife there so she can be protecting them and watching over them. Now it's your job to guide or guard the door that needs to be guarded. Meanwhile, you are letting the wife know about the situation so she's not surprised, and even meanwhile this, she should already be calling the cops if necessary. Meanwhile, you checked what's happening downstairs. Is it a raccoon? Is it a robber? What's happening? After you check it, you should once again lock the door, get into some advantageous position for you so you can see the attackers before they see you, and you should be screaming at them that you know about them, that the cops are already called so they can be alerted. Maybe some questions that you have in your head, like should I truly just wake up my wife and make her guard the kids with a gun before even checking what's happening down there? Maybe it's a raccoon. Like, think about it from the other's perspective. You are getting your gun and you are going to hunt something downstairs without telling nobody anything. Like, no, that's the stupid decision that you would make. Not tell anybody and be with the gun downstairs. Of course, we are not saying that if 100 times you hear something downstairs and you check in and there's nothing, that probably the people in your house are going to be a little bit angry about this. But think about it in a context of in the neighborhood that I live in. Like, is it a big possibility that something can happen? And even if so, you don't always have to wake up the kids. Your wife should be the one who's alerted, because at the end of the day, she's your partner who's going to be covering your back. And think about it like, I would rather check it 99 times and nothing would happen than to not check it once and I will get myself into big trouble. So always be sure than be sorry. For the better angle of all these things that we are talking about here, model situations are the key to training this. Grab your friend, let him grab some airsoft gun and try, am I quick enough, am I hiding good, am I in a position where he cannot see me but I can see him? This is the key to training and to be able to do the home defense very well and very good. That's the key, model situations and training it. The key to training as well is knowing the risk management of the area that you are living in. So for example, if you know that in your area it's very common some hurricanes, you should be training for hurricanes. If it's like a lot of car crashes, you should have the equipment and the training to handle car crash. Or even if you are talking about like fires that can happen in your house, your family should know what to do in the case of fire. Maybe that's more possible for you than the home invaders. Even better, like, come and train with us, we train all of these things. Of course, take this video with a little bit grain of salt because every single house looks different things all around, but you should be still focusing mostly on the passive defense that you have at your home, because that will determine how much time you have, if you have the time to secure the kids, the wife, everything. You don't want to be surprised. That's the key element when it comes to home defense. You never want to be surprised. That's why your main concern should be always about the passive defense. Depending on all the weapons that you have at your house, always think about that there's going to be some low consequences after the initial home defense and some first aid. For the purpose of this video, we weren't talking about it, but this is something that you will have to count with when it comes to your home defense. When we are talking about the low consequences, think about if the camera should only be outside or in the inside as well, because that can be used for your evidence that you were defending yourself, they came into your house, and it will be much easier for you. When it comes to the first aid, on the other hand, it's going to be only about training. The more you train, the more you'll be prepared and the less you'll be surprised. Now it's up to you to share this video with as many people as you can, because home invasions are a regular thing that happens almost every single day, and people need to be alerted what they should do and, on the other hand, what they shouldn't do, like taking a gun and going to hunt them and basically getting into their shot and getting killed, or like having a shootout in your own house when there's kids and everything. Those are all the mistakes that people do. We showed you definitely what not to do, and in some basic information what you should be doing and how to avoid all the mistakes. Like the video if you did enjoy, subscribe to see more videos like this, and we are hoping to see you in the next video as well. Thank you for watching. Bye.